not by reading scriptures we get knowledge. Thakur said that's panditya. So that's the difference between panditya and jnana. So when I say knowledge, or when knowledge is written, we should think of jnana, not panditya. So only after getting that jnana, one really get prema bhakti, and through purification of mind, we can make the progress to either get knowledge or get divine love. Then about samartha. How much time? Okay, they're talking about rati. Those of us who have read Premika Guru must have gone through all these. That there are different stages to really get that divine love or prema bhakti, and the final is before the prema bhakti is rati. So this that rati is of three types: rati, samanjasa rati, and samartha rati. Sadharani is that I am happy by seeing him. So I just see him, I become happy. That's the sadharani. That's the common people's thing. Who are in that rati stage, just to clarify. Then is samanjasa. Samanjasa is saman, equal. That means I reciprocate. So he becomes happy seeing me, I become happy seeing him, and all that. I can if I make him happy, he will make me happy. It's just a reciprocation. Then the final stage is the samartha rati. So samartha rati is I am happy or not, it doesn't matter. I want him to be happy. The final, the last stage of rati. And when the rati becomes condensed, then only one gets prema bhakti. As per Premika Guru, Thakur has written that when the rati garha dosa prapta hai, so the rati really becomes condensed, then it becomes prema bhakti. There are 3 minutes left. If any questions anybody has, so let's stop here. Please ask any questions you may have. Otherwise, I'll just continue this discussion. Okay, so let me mention a couple of other things. Again, they mentioned that tolerant, the organ is okay. Happiness is the attachment. This whole world is based on this attachment. If attachment will not be there, nobody will really get involved in this world. The example is 4 sons of Brahma. So when Brahma created, his 4 sons, Sanat Kumara, Sanatana, all these, so then gave them tattva gyan, knowledge. So once they had knowledge, they didn't have attachment, because they didn't have attachment towards all these worldly matters, worldly objects, do samsara. So they just left. So then Brahma realized that I should not give them tattva gyana. Because tattva gyana takes away all these world attachments. Actually, Thakur said that I mentioned this last time probably that Thakur said that once we have purification of mind, the chitta, then we can realize that all these material objects that we think are giving us happiness is false. It is not true that they are the ones giving us happiness. Happiness is within us. So that we can realize once we have this purification of mind or Suddha Chitta. Coming back to this Samartha Rati, the different type of Samartha Rati, the final type of Rati, that reminds me a saying in Bengali. I don't remember the exact wordings, but it is something like this. So the devotee is saying that Amar ja hobe, dukkha pabe, mi sukhe thako doyamoy. Thakur has mentioned somewhere. I just can't remember exactly where Thakur has mentioned, but I remember Thakur mentioning that Amar ja hobe hobe, tumi keno dukkha pabe, tumi sukhe thako doyamoy. So this is the feeling of a person who is at that stage, Samartha Rati stage. That it says that whatever happens to me, let it happen. You don't worry. You be happy. And when a devotee is Ishta, so this is the feeling the devotee that me suffer. comes to me, don't worry, you be happy. I want you to be happy. I want to see you happy. That is, the samartha of the stage. Anyway, it's time. Let me stop here. We'll move to the YA session, starting with the Prarthana Sangita by Srija. Yeah, when you are ready, please start. Join.
Hey girl. Again, your hands will slip away. He'll hold his feet. Again, your hands will slip away. He'll hold his feet. Again, your eyes will close, yet seek his face. Again, your eyes will close, yet seek his face. Again, your hands will bleed. He'll gather flowers. Again, your hands will bleed. He'll gather flowers. Again, the garland breaks, yet string it well. Again, the garland breaks, yet string it well. Again, your mind will stray. He'll hear his words. Again, your mind will stray. He'll hear his words. Again, pain will arise, yet remember his name. Again, pain will arise, yet remember his name. To us and then that day will come when all is lost. To us and then that day will come when all is lost. 'Cause by his side, his touch you'll feel, smile and joy. 'Cause by his side, his touch you'll feel, smile and joy. Again, your hands will slip away. Still hold his feet. Again, your hands will slip away. Still hold his feet. Again, your eyes will close, yet seek his face. Again, your eyes will close, yet seek his face. Yet seek his face. Yet seek his face.
Jayaguru Young Aspirants, this is Bhaktima and I will be conducting our YA session for today. Hope you're all doing well. I'll first start with attendance and then we'll move with the rest of the session. Aditi?
Jayaguru, she's coming. Jayaguru.
Okay, Jayaguru. Adhibasa? Aishi?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Anik?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Ansh?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Anshul. Arnav.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Aryan.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Ashrita.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jemu.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Divyam. Timmy. Jagrat.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Naitik.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Nivriti.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Pratisha.
Jayaguru Ma, Pratyusa Asuchi Ma.
Jayaguru Ma. Pratish.
Jayaguru Ma, Aschi Pratyush. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jayaguru. Payushi.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Sanvi.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Sharanya.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Saraswat.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Sharlov. Sarthak. Bobby.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Shilpi. Shreyasi.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jimmy.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Simran.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Siddhi.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Shrija.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Suhani. Yukta.
Out Ma today. Jayaguru.
Okay. Jayaguru. Is there anyone that I missed in our attendance today? If not, we can get started with the program. So today we'll be reading a story and reflecting on themes like patience and humility, self-control, and most importantly, dharma. In our daily lives, we face different situations every day where it may push us to not be on our best behavior or may push us to be reactive or act quickly, but sometimes we may want to handle the situation differently and be calm. And with today's story, we see how different characters respond to a stressful situation and more philosophical questions after that. So I shared this story via email yesterday, so you all can follow along. And today, Bubbly will be reading for us. So Bubbly, when you're ready, you can get started.
Jayaguru, the wise answers of Yudhishthira. Long ago, during their years of exile, the 5 Pandava brothers from the Mahabharata were traveling through a dense and unfamiliar forest, far from any village or stream. One hot afternoon, they grew unbearably thirsty. Exhausted from their journey, they searched everywhere for water. Yudhishthira, the eldest of the brothers, asked Nakula to go and look for a lake or a river nearby. After some time, Nakula came upon a beautiful lake filled with clear, sparkling water. As he bent down to drink, he suddenly heard a mysterious voice. "Stop. This lake belongs to me. You must answer my questions before you drink. If you ignore my words, harm will follow." But Nakula was overwhelmed by thirst. Ignoring the warning, he drank the water. The moment he did, he fell unconscious beside the lake. When Nakula did not return, Yudhishthira sent Sahadeva to search for him. Sahadeva soon arrived at the same lake and saw Nakula lying motionless on the ground. Confused and worried, he approached the water. Once again, the mysterious voice spoke. "Do not drink from this lake until you answer my questions." But Sahadeva, too, was overpowered by thirst. He ignored the warning and drank. In an instant, he also fell unconscious. Then Arjuna went in search of his brothers. He heard the same warning, ignored it, and met the same fate. After Bhima, strong and fearless, went looking for them. He too dismissed the mysterious voice, drank the water, and fell unconscious beside the lake. At last, Yudhishthira himself came to the lake. To his horror, he saw all 4 of his brothers lying motionless on the ground. Though his heart was filled with grief, Yudhishthira did not panic or rush toward the water. He looked carefully and folded his hands, waiting. Then the mysterious voice spoke once more. I am a yaksha, a divine being, and this lake belongs to me. Before drinking the water, you must answer my questions. With humility, Yudhishthira replied, please ask your questions. The yaksha was pleased by Yudhishthira's patience and self-control. He then began asking deep questions about life, truth, happiness, and wisdom. The yaksha's questions and Yudhishthira's answers. Yaksha, what is faster than the wind? Yudhishthira, the mind is faster than the wind. Yaksha, what is more numerous than the blades of grass? Yudhishthira, the thoughts that rise in a person's mind are more numerous than the blades of grass. Yaksha, what is heavier than the earth? Yudhishthira, a mother is heavier than the earth because of her love and sacrifice. Yaksha, what is higher than the sky? Yudhishthira, a father is higher than the sky. Yaksha, who is truly happy? Yudhishthira, one who is healthy, peaceful, and content is truly happy. Yaksha, what is the greatest wonder in the world? Yudhishthira, day after day, countless beings die, yet those who remain alive still believe they will live forever. This is the greatest wonder. Yaksha, what is the greatest wealth? Yudhishthira, knowledge is the greatest wealth. Yaksha, what if given up makes a person pleasant to be with? Yudhishthira, giving up pride makes a person pleasant to be with. Yaksha, what if given up brings no regret? Yudhishthira, giving up anger brings no regret. Yaksha, what if given up makes one truly wealthy? Yudhishthira, giving up desire makes one truly wealthy. Yaksha, what if given up makes one truly happy? Yudhishthira, what giving up greed makes one truly happy. Yaksha, what is true knowledge? Yudhishthira, true knowledge is the knowledge of God. Yaksha, what is true peace? Yudhishthira, true peace is the peace of the heart. Yaksha, what is mercy? Yudhishthira, mercy is wishing happiness for all beings. Yaksha, what is simplicity? Yudhishthira, simplicity is keeping the heart calm and steady. Yaksha, what is ignorance? Yudhishthira, ignorance is not knowing one's duty. Yaksha, what is pride? Yudhishthira, pride is thinking, I'm the one doing everything. Yaksha, what is idleness? Yudhishthira, idleness is failing to do one's duty. Yaksha, what is grief? Yudhishthira, grief is born from ignorance. The Yaksha was deeply impressed by Yudhishthira's wisdom, humility, patience, and understanding of Dharma. Pleased with his answers, the Yaksha said, I will bring one of your brothers back to life. You may only choose one. Whom do you wish to save? Without hesitation, Yudhishthira chose Nakula. The Yaksha was surprised. He asked, why would you choose Nakula instead of Bhima, who is the strongest, or Arjuna, who is the greatest warrior? Yaksha respectfully replied, my father had 2 wives, Kunti and Madri. Since I, a son of Kunti, am alive, it is the only right that a son of Madri should also live. This is Dharma. Hearing this answer, the Yaksha was overjoyed. He revealed his true identity as Dharma Deva, the god of righteousness and Yudhishthira's divine father. Because of Yudhishthira's thought, truthfulness, fairness, wisdom, and calm behavior, Dharma Deva restored all 4 brothers to life. The Pandavas continued their journey through the forest, carrying with them a deeper understanding of what it truly means to live by Dharma. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, thank you for reading the story. There's a lot that was mentioned in the story in terms of the plot and then also the question and answer. But before we get into Q&A, I wanted to discuss more of the context behind the story and more about it. So like mentioned, the story comes from the Mahabharata, and it's known as the Questions of the Yaksha and Answers by Yudhishthira. And what makes this story so powerful is that the Yaksha was not simply testing Yudhishthira's intelligence or memory. He was testing his character, his wisdom, and understanding of Dharma. And Dharma is a very important idea in Hindu philosophy. A simple way to understand Dharma is doing what is right, truthful, fair, and responsible, even when it is difficult, like in the situation in the story. So in the story, all 5 brothers face the same situation at the lake. They were exhausted, thirsty, emotional, and under pressure, but they all responded in different ways. The first four brothers all acted impulsively. They ignored the warning because they're focused on satisfying their immediate need to quench their thirst. But in the end, Yudhishthira remained calm even after seeing four of his brothers lying motionless on the ground. Instead of reacting emotionally, he paused and listened carefully. And he remained respectful and also answered all of these questions thoughtfully. So I think this is one of the interesting teachings of the story, because his wisdom that he showed was not just about basic knowledge or strength. It was the ability to remain steady and act with righteousness even during difficult and stressful moments. And with the exact questions that were part of this reading today, there's a lot of philosophical questions, deep and open-ended questions, where we can learn different things like about pride, about anger and contentment, realities, things like that. And I think that's very relevant in our day-to-day relationships, decision-making, and our spiritual journey as well. I also wanted to highlight that at the end, Yudhishthira decided, after given the choice to pick one brother to save, he decided to choose Nakula to save out of all of them, even though there was other brothers that could be more useful to him or stronger. He wanted to uphold what is right and fair. And now with this context, I wanted to see if anyone had any questions about the story before we move into Q&A. So any questions so far? If not, let's get into it. So Pratisha, why were the Pandavas searching for water?
Jayaguru, I'm not too sure.
Okay, that's fine.
Jayaguru.
Praishi, do you know why the Pandavas were searching for water?
Because they were very thirsty and they had no water sources, so they were going to go drink from the lake. Jayaguru.
Yeah, that's right. And when they're at the lake, there's a warning at the lake. So Jagrat, what was the warning that they all received?
Warning that they all got was that do not drink the water until you answer following questions. But I believe 4 of the brothers had a lack of water, so they drank the water without the notice.
Yeah, so 4 of them drank the water, they ignored the warning, they fell unconscious. But Jagrat, what happened with the 5th one, with Easter? What did he do differently?
Instead of panicking, he instead listened to the God and answered all the questions truthfully and truth. And after, he could choose any brother that any person that was knocked unconscious by drinking the water without answering the questions. And he chose the one that was a child of another wife, the same husband, because he thought it was righteous to make it fair and right for everybody. And so, because of the deep philosophy within, the Dharma made all 4 brothers become conscious.
Yeah, that was a really good answer. These are all the various things he did differently than his brothers, and I think he really highlighted different aspects of his character with answering the questions and also how he decided which brother to save in the end and all of that. He was calm throughout. And so Yudhishthira remained calm in this very stressful situation, but Aishi, how can we stay calm when we are faced with a stressful situation?
Jayaguru, in order to stay calm in stressful situations, we can chant Thakura's name and think of him, and just try to not let our stress get over the best of us, Jayaguru.
Yeah, that's a great answer. We can think of Thakura, chant Jayaguru, and try to calm ourselves down. That's a great answer. Arnav, what are some other ways that we can stay calm when faced with a stressful situation?
Jayaguru, I think another powerful way to stay calm in these situations is also just to take a deep breath and just reset your mind, because a lot of times, like, if you're doing a task and you just get overwhelmed, sometimes you just need a reset to calm yourself down before you lash out at others. So I think that's just a really powerful way to calm yourself down. Jayaguru.
Yeah, very good. I think taking a deep breath, that kind of resets our nervous system, so it calms our body down in a physiological way, and that's important to do. So I definitely do both of these. Sometimes remember Thakura and chant Jayaguru, and also take a deep breath in and try to just take a step back and look at the bigger picture before getting overwhelmed. So there was a lot of questions and answers in the story between the Yaksha and Yudhishthira. Sandeep, which of these questions and answers stood out to you the most, and why?
Jayaguru, the question, what if giving up makes one truly wealthy, stood out to me because it shows that we need to give up our material desires and just be focused on God and our goals and spirituality, and that will make us truly happy and wealthy, not these materialistic possessions that can illusion us. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, that's a wonderful answer, and that really gets into the heart of Yudhishthira's answer in the story, that focusing on the material stuff, that's not making us wealthy. It's really our spiritual wealth and what really matters. That was great to hear. Let's also hear from Pratyush. Which of the question and answer stood out to you the most, and why?
Jayaguru, I don't have the passage, but I think I remember one of the questions was what must be controlled, and I like the answer of the mind, because that is what helps us think of everything and make sure that we are aware of ourselves. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, yeah, I think our mind can really go in different directions. That we have so many thoughts, we have so many possibilities. Our mind can go very, very fast, and sometimes it's important to keep that in check and on track when we're trying to focus on something. So that's a great thing to point out. Let's also hear from Nathik. What question and answer from the story stood out to you, and why?
Yeah, I think the what is ignorance question stood out to me the most. And I think it stood out just because it's very relatable.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think with ignorance, it's like the answer was not knowing one's duty, and our duty depends on our current role in life. And if we're not doing that, then we truly don't know what is going on. So that is, I agree that it is very relatable, and it's always important to keep focus on what our goals are, what we want to be doing, and what do we want to achieve in the future. So let's also hear from Bobby. What was a Q&A in the story that you found relatable or interesting, and why?
Jayaguru, I found the question where he asks him, what is mercy? I really liked Yudhishthira's answer of saying how mercy is wishing happiness for all beings. I think just me personally thinking about mercy just on one human being or individually, and how he was able to just think about it for everyone. I think that's a really thoughtful answer that I probably wouldn't have thought of on the first go around.
Jayaguru, yeah, I think that the concept of mercy for all, seeing the humanity in everyone and wanting everyone to be in a good state and happy, like that's a really broad-minded perspective to have. Next, let's hear from Jemu. What question and answer stood out to you, or did you like the most in the story?
Jayaguru, I think the question answer that stood out to me was, I think what is the greatest wonder in the world, because it was talking about, like, you know, there's a lot of people who die every day, but it's just kind of talking about, like, living life to the fullest and making sure that each moment counts. Jayaguru.
Yeah, I also thought that question was really interesting because, yeah, we are living our lives, and one day that's going to come to an end, but, like, it just feels like, yeah, we are in the moment, and we have to do the right thing. So it's a really interesting way to think about it. That's good. Aryan, what do you think about the Q&As? Which one was it? What was an interesting question you found in the story?
Jayaguru, I think it's hard for me to pick one, but the two most interesting questions I thought were when Yaksha asked, like, what is true knowledge, and Yudhishthira answered, true knowledge is the knowledge of God. And then the next question was, what is true peace? And Yudhishthira answered, like, true peace is the peace of heart. Because I think, like, those two questions sort of get at the most important spiritual goals that everyone has. And so, like, I think Yudhishthira answering that, like, showed, like, deep spiritual understanding. Yeah, Jayaguru.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I think we've had so many YA sessions where we're talking about who we are, what are we doing, what is our purpose, more philosophical things. And these answers really connect to that, like, and understanding, like, yeah, we are, what are we doing here, and how that connects to God. Tracy, what do you think about the question and answers? Which one stood out to you?
Jayaguru, I thought the ones that stood out to me were the ones at the very end, like the last four questions about ignorance, pride, idleness, and grief. I thought, like, the way he answered them really simply was.
Yeah, I think in the original story, like, there's a lot of groupings of these types of questions that are connected together. So I think the connecting ignorance and pride and duty and grief, they all have a connection in different ways. So it's an interesting way to think about it. Saraswati, what about you? What do you think about the questions? Did any stand out to you in particular, and why?
Jayaguru, so going through them, I think one of the most interesting questions to me was when Yaksha asked, "What if?" It was like the two questions about giving up. So what if giving up makes a person pleasant to be with, and then what if giving up brings no regrets? And, like, I think those two questions stood out to me. Jayaguru.
Great, yeah, I think it's an interesting way to answer those questions, because pride and anger, those are qualities that we don't really want to have. It doesn't make us progress anyway. So giving those up will bring no regret and also make us fun to be around. So that's really cool. And speaking of pride, Shrija, why is it important? Why is there usually an emphasis in stories to be humble and not prideful?
Grandma, we shouldn't have that much, so we could be, like, pleasant and have, like, we would be true to ourselves and be, like, in our inner peace and soul, Jacob.
Yeah. And in addition to that, having more humility than pride, it helps us stay respectful, and it keeps us in a mode that we want to learn more instead of thinking that we already know everything. So that's another way of how I see, like, the connection between humility, pride, and all of this. Let's also hear from Jimmy. What was your favorite question from this story?
So my favorite question was the first one because Jayaguru, my favorite question was the one about the ignorance because like if you are ignorant then like it affects you, but like no, it affects you because like you don't learn in life and like you will start struggling. But like if you're not ignorant, then you actually get to learn more in life. Jayaguru?
Yeah. It's always important to be listening, learning, and growing, and that's a really good answer. That's great. So I think with all these, there's so many questions here, and so many things that we can learn from these questions. But Sudhi, what is one thing you learned from this story overall? If not Sudhi, let's hear from Aditi. What is one lesson or some takeaway you have from the story in general?
Jayaguru, one takeaway I have from the story is that like kind of just like I think like true like happiness and peace comes from focusing on like more spiritual aspects rather than just like materialistic things like wealth. Jayaguru?
Yeah, and looking at the bigger picture, he was looking at the bigger he was looking at the more spiritual aspect of things. When he was at the lake, he didn't immediately think about the immediate need for quenching his thirst. He decided to be more patient. He answered all of these questions in a really insightful way, and just demonstrated his character. Let's also hear from Sanvi. What is something in general that you learned from the story? And
Jayaguru, it's very important to calm our mind and just have a lot of patience and self-control because the way our mind is, that influences on how we act in certain situations. So it's just important to stay calm and peaceful. Jayaguru?
Yeah, I really agree with that. There's so many things that can agitate us and irritate us, unsettle our minds, but we have to make sure that we are controlling our minds and making sure that we're not unintentionally reacting to something that can't be taken back. We're always thinking before we're acting. So that's something really important. Does anyone want, if I haven't called on someone yet, does anyone want to share what their favorite question was or what they learned from the story?
Jayaguru, this
Anj?
is Simran.
Okay, go ahead.
My favorite one was probably the greatest wealth one because many people think that money and time is like the greatest wealth. It says that in the story that knowledge is the greatest wealth, Jayaguru.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. I'm glad to hear that. Let's also hear from Anj. What was your favorite question and answer in the story or just overall takeaway?
Jayaguru, I thought that the biggest or most interesting thing about the story was how a lot of the questions and answers were related to how I guess human nature has a much higher magnitude than a lot of things in nature. So say like the number of thoughts that we have versus blades of grass, which just shows how full of potential we are. Jayaguru?
Great. I really like that answer, how we are full of potential, the magnitude of who we are, what we can do. I like that thinking. That's really cool. I think there's so many really good takeaways from this story. One thing I think a lot of us have mentioned, is to stay calm and think before acting. So not acting impulsively, but staying calm, listening carefully, and thinking before we do something. Another one I think we've touched on here is the importance of knowledge and self-control and how that can solve problems better than being impulsive and through anger or greed. And I think we've also touched on themes of being fair and being fair over like any emotional attachments and personal preferences. So this relates to how Yudhishthira chose to save Nakula over his other brothers. We've also touched on humility over pride. Yudhishthira's story was showing how being more humble can lead to more results than focusing on his own strengths and qualities. And lastly, I think it's important how, and there's a whole theme in this story of doing what is right and what is fair. Even if it may not seem like it's the easy thing to do, it is something that we should be doing. And day to day, I think we face situations where it's sometimes harder to do the right thing, but it's important to remember the importance of inner peace and kindness and humility, and having patience and self-control and good judgment is a really key to how we grow and develop as a person. And even when we're faced with all of this, it's also important to remember Shree Thakur's teachings and how he has advised us to always remain calm in difficult situations, remember him, and also follow the path of dharma. So I would like to end the Y session here by praying to Shree Thakur to bless all of us with humility, patience, good judgment, and the strength to follow dharma in our daily lives. So that's how I'll end our Y session here. And next up is Bhava by Arnav. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, today is my Bhava Vinamaya Seva. Over the past school year, I've often relied on Thakura during important events, such as tests, important games, and high-stakes competitions. Before each of these, I pray to Thakura to guide me and help me do my best. This has greatly eased my stress, because I know if I put in the hard work, Thakura will take care of the rest. Every night, I also reflect on my day and talk to Thakura about it. Then I ask him to help me make the right choices tomorrow. These practices make me feel deeply connected to Thakura and assure me that he's always looking out for me. I also try my best to follow Thakura's teachings, especially being kind to everyone, regardless of the circumstance. Even when I feel like arguing, I calm myself down, knowing that kindness is the best way to diffuse any situation. In these moments, I also turn to Thakura for the strength to stay composed. I pray to Shree Shree Thakur to continue guiding me in the right direction and help me grow spiritually. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Today is our Palishavan Bhava Seva. There is a lot of good book readings and discussion. Actually, in this spiritualism, the amount of knowledge shared by our Nirachal Sangha is really comparable to any other organization. Anything related to Sanatana Dharma, all the questions or information present or provided. Actually, this time, by the grace of Thakura, I got the opportunity to attend Pradeshika Bhakta Samilani, which was also Padmarao Jayanti. This was actually after a long gap, I was able to travel and attend Bhakta Samilani in Odisha. Before the Samilani, actually my parents and others were asking me to come and join the Padmarao Jayanti, and it is rare and one must be fortunate to witness it. I was praying to Thakura for the chance to attend the Samilani, but the back of my mind, I was unsure also whether it would be possible or not. With this grace, I went to the Samilani and was fortunate to realize the memories. It was fantastic and splendid experience to visit the Samilani in person, and it had a completely different charm. I was also lucky to see all parts of the Samilani. Basically, I never visited all these like a Bhoga Prastuti, preparation Gruha, or where Thakur was resting after the Samilani or during the session, after the session ends. And also to the back of the Samilani Pendal. I visited Nirachal Kutira and Asana Mandir also. With his grace, I visited Puri Temple and fortunate to have Sri Jagannath Darshan smoothly along with my brothers and sisters. This time also blessed to greet Thakur during the return journey from Samilani at Nayagad Asana Mandira. I had never experienced such an occasion before and had only heard about it. It was truly a splendid and vibrant atmosphere with Sri Sri Thakur and all Bhakta Bhai and Ma. All of this was possible only due to Thakur's blessing. Most of us are fortunate to be born in Thakur's family. As he said, we all are connected to him life after life. Prabhu, please bless us so that we may continue with this journey with you all times and all in all aspects. Sometimes I feel like a stress level is so high due to, and the mind is overloaded with so many materialistic, unnecessary thoughts. The mind is not constantly with Thakura. Even while during puja, while praying, sometimes the mind wanders somewhere else. Yet I continue to do puja mechanically as a process rather than with full presence. With this, I came across a story, Arabic story I'd like to share. There was a saint who traveled from state to state begging for alms. He had unusual requirement. Every offering had to be placed in a particular vessel or bowl. But no matter how much anyone offered, the bowl never became full. Because of this, people became afraid to give him anything. One day he visited a certain region and the king invited him to accept offerings. The saint reminded the king about his special requirement regarding the vessel. The king, being wise and knowledgeable, examined the bowl and immediately understood the reason. The king said, "It seems this vessel is made from a human skull. A human's desire never ends. They are never satisfied. They always want more and more." Hearing this, the saint was blessed with the king's insight and blessed him. Prabhu, we all pray at your lotus feet to give us strength and devotion to fulfill all your desires for the welfare of the world. I'm trying to continue part of this actually, our roles actually. I'm saying I'm trying to do the swadhyaya and also trying to wake up early in the morning. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Today is my Pariseva and Bhavavinaya. And before that, I praise Shree Thakur Maharaj for all the blessings, how he has held our hands. Couple of things I would like to talk about, like I just come to know just a day before my Pariseva is actually today. So that's what it's. I was very sad and upset. This is first time in life it has happened like that. Like people or bhaktas try to remember their paris over a month, weeks to perform seva. Obviously, I did not get any notification, but I cannot say that like that is the fault on my side. Like how I have been also active to see that. Apart from that, my mental situation, like how these things will happen, how do I forget it? And this is not the only thing. I forget a lot of things right now nowadays. Over the past few years, it has been terrible on my side. But all the things what has happened, I have noticed and realized every time Thakur is besides me and holding us together for every ups and lows and high lows and everything. So this is a big thing for me, like how to not remember or forget. I always give excuses. That is my, and those are my bad things. I could say, like I can give easily excuses, and people do think like I'm saying the right thing, but those are mere excuses I give. I'll try to be more, not to do these mistakes again and again. I'll try to be proactive. But a couple of things, as I said, right, so after my father's demise last year, and a lot of things have changed. The way we see each other and everybody. So those values in life, those have a lot changed. And nowadays, also today, I was not able to be part of the morning session also. And again, I have some excuse, like people, how I put it, like kids were not able to come in the morning, but I was awake in the morning, still I could not make it. I don't know how. We tried to search for a house nearby to Raleigh, but that did not happen. We searched for over a year. So I think that might not be the right thing. Now I'm thinking like I should try to come even more closer, so that like all the bhais how we have right now, a lot of people are here nearby. Hopefully that blessing, if I get, will try to be more closer and try to not give any excuses. Couple of other things from today's session. I had always the feeling like how we translate from Oriya to English. A lot of things are lost in the way we say it or sing it. But the way Srija Maya sang Bara Bara, that was really awesome. Like I felt really the feeling the same way how it would be in Oriya, and that's really nice. On top of it, like how Bijubai has kept the ashram, it's so neat and clean, everything, how he keeps it, it's always good to have. From my perspective, like I'll try to see, I pray Thakur give me the right direction, however I'm a little bit lost. Still on track, but little bit lost, like do a lot of mistakes. I'll try to make sure I do not do that the same thing the next time. I'll focus on these things. But to his blessings, I have developed a lot of other things in terms of prayers towards the devotion, but that is not going to suffice anything. But I'll try to make it more in a better way from now onwards. With that, I'll keep my Bhavina Seva here. Thank you. Yeah.
Jayaguru Bhai, you didn't say what exactly you are doing, what advice of Thakur, what instructions of Thakur you are trying to use in your life. If you are doing anything, please share. If you are not doing anything, try to do something. So that's the main point of Bhava Vinimaya. Are you, anything we are doing, like Vinay Bhai said that he's trying to do Shraddhaya, wake up in the morning.
Yeah, but I try to
share
in the morning on a regular basis. So trying to stick to the time, trying to follow the way we should do, how I was doing before. In between, I lost the tracks. So that's what I was trying to focus. Like I will be able to more express once I do more perfectly. Or right now, I am imperfectly, totally. I can say perfectly imperfect. I'm trying to be the other way around. Yeah.
I mean, each of us is imperfect. No, non-opposite. So we have a long way to go. But anyway, I just mentioned this one because Thakur has said that in Bhava Vinimaya, you have to share with others what you are doing so that others will get motivated and all that. So that's what we are trying to do. Anyway, yeah. So why, please invite Thakur for Madhyana Bhagavan, even Puja Bhaktas for Prasadam.
Jayaguru. Pranam Thakur Maharaj. We are almost about to the closure of section session. We all invite to have the Madhyana Bhoga, and we invite you to have the Madhyana Bhoga, and followed by Prasad Sevan to all the Bhais and Mas, nearby students. And also invite Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj for the evening prayer to be held at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Jai.
Jayaguru, I invite Shree Shree Thakur, all Bhais, Mas, and young aspirants to the next Sangha Puja on Sunday, May 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Please join to make this puja successful. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. I invite Shree Shree Thakur and all the Bhais, Mas, and young aspirants for our next Sangha Puja session to be held on May 24th. And let's expect everyone to join and make the puja success. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. I beg right now the session is going to be concluded. I beg forgiveness from Shree Shree Thakur, Bhai, Ma, and young aspirant for any mistake, whether knowingly or unknowingly, during the puja session. Jai Guru.
Dayamoya चरणे एहि निवेदन दयामय श्री चरणे एहि निवेदन निरन्तर तव नाम करिबि स्मरण देव निरन्तर तव नाम करिबि स्मरण एहा छड़ा रहिब इतर कामना एहा छड़ा न रहिब इतर कामना एहि मात्र भिक्षा मोर एतिकी प्रार्थना देव एहि मात्र भिक्षा मोर एतिकी प्रार्थना तुमे प्रभु मोहि दास एहि अहंकार तुमे प्रभु मोहि दास एहि अहंकार एकमात्र जीव प्रबल संसार देव एकमात्र जीव प्रबल संसार एथि लागी देवे काले न मिले मुक्ति एथि लागी जेबे काले न मिले मुक्ति तथापि रखिबि मनि अनंत ध्रुपति देव तथापि रखिबि मनि अनंत ध्रुपति तुमरी दृष्टि भीतरे तुमरी जगते तुमरी दृष्टि भीतरे तुमरी जगते पड़िथिबि जहि तहि तुमरी इंगिते देव पड़िथिबि जहि तहि तुमरी इंगिते हंस परे रचनार अभिनव रूप ध्वंस परे रचनार अभिनव रूप देखि देखि आसी जीव असल स्वरूप देव देखि देखि आसी जीव असल स्वरूप मिलाई न पारे देवे तब यंत्रेश्वर मिलाई न पारे देवे तब यंत्रेश्वर तब नामे भाई देवी भंगा बीणा मोर देव तब नामे भाई देवी भंगा बीणा मोर शुणु बान शुणु केहि थिब अहंकार शुणु बान शुणु केहि थिब अहंकार तुमी प्रभु मोहि दास एतिकी संसार देव तुमी प्रभु मोहि दास एतिकी संसार प्रेममय श्री चरणे करे निवेदन 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 तुम जय गाउथिबी सारा जीवन देव तुम जय गाउथिबी सारा जीवन देव तुम जय गाउथिबी सारा जीवन जय गुरु 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 जय गुरु
जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु